No, my heart, my welcome. Welcome, everyone. Kia ora, welcome. It's great to see so many faces here, recognizable names, a big community of people coming through tonight. Fantastic. We'll just let everyone settle in as we open the doors. Brilliant. Well, it's 8 o'clock, so I think we should kick off. So, no, my heart, I welcome everyone to our International Student Story Journeys Bootcamp for this evening, co-hosted by BA Career Meetups and Summer of Tech. So this event is designed to unpack the real challenges international students face as they transition into the New Zealand workforce. From navigating workplace culture differences and bridging communication gaps to building authentic human connections through networking, the session will offer practical perspectives grounded in live experiences. We're also going to be exploring how rapid advancements in AI are reshaping industries, job expectations, and the skills needed to stay relevant in a changing landscape. So without further ado, I'm going to pass you over to the BA Career Meetup team, and I'm going to introduce you to Mayank. Kia ora, Mayank. Welcome.
Thank you, Dee. Welcome, everyone. And I'm glad that everyone took a time from their busy schedule on a Monday evening to join us today. Sorry, on a Tuesday evening, my bad. I'm still on Monday. So thank you everyone for joining us on a Tuesday evening. And I'm hoping that after today's session, you will have a good understanding or at least some takeaways about what good looks like in a market like New Zealand, because most of us are international students who are new to New Zealand, trying to navigate the market, trying to navigate the culture, right? And there are a few champions amongst us who will be sharing their journey today with us, Theora and Ting. So they have successfully done what we are trying to do, right? So it will be a good learning from them as to what good looks like or what should be done and what should be avoided um, as an international student or as someone who is trying to crack into this market, right? So um, to start or to kick our session, we have an interesting question. So tell us one thing that you can talk to strangers about with confidence, since we are talking about networking and about getting into a new market, about cracking into a market. I know everyone must be aware that networking is very important, right? We need to, and New Zealand market is very small, so networking is a key. So what do you think? Feel confident? Just scan the QR code and type your answer in Slido, and I will give a minute or two here for everyone to answer, and then we will quickly move on to the next slide. Okay, anything about cars? Interesting. Cars. Food. Food is very popular. Weather. Yeah. Okay. All
Oh,
right.
breathworks. That's an
Yeah.
interesting one.
Yeah. I think a lot of people in yoga here.
Prompt engineering.
Yeah. To keep all the stress aside.
Well,
Right. Okay. Interesting. I mean, food and weather looks like are the most common ones.
oh,
And
I think
yeah,
there's
go
a
ahead.
few more coming in,
Yeah.
Maya. So we'll just wait till we get a few more
Ah,
people to sign up because I've got
yeah.
the you got AI,
Hmm.
camping, hiking. So New Zealand's a good country for that.
Right. Culture. Hmm.
Cool.
Nice.
Very good.
Okay.
Okay. Shall we move on?
Yeah, let's move on. I think we have substantial answer. Let's move on to our next slide. Greg, please. Okay, so as everyone knows, today we are talking about two of our stars. One is Ting, one is Theora. How they cracked into the market. They came here as international students, and their journey has been very similar to what we would want in terms of getting into an institution, completing our studies, and then going into a market, looking for a job, right? But it's always not as straightforward or as easy. So these two champions today will share their journey, share their learnings with us, which will definitely be helpful in this market and for international students, right? So I'm Mayank. I'll be your host today, and I am being helped by Greg. Greg is also co-founder of BA Career, and let's quickly start and go to the next slide, Greg, please. Okay, code of conduct. So Summer of Tech, as we know that we are doing this event in collaboration with Summer of Tech. We are from BA Career, and T here is from Summer of Tech. Summer of Tech is committed to creating a safe and respectable and inclusive environment for learning, sharing, and professional networking. And we welcome diverse perspective, background, skills, and we strive to remove barriers to participation and to help everyone feel welcome. Okay, let's go to the next one, Greg, please. About Be a Career. So we are a team of about 3,000 plus people, members currently in New Zealand and worldwide. And our mission is to help aspiring business analysts and professionals transitioning into Be a Career by connecting them through industry professionals and helping them get some insights and tips to support their career in this journey and into the industry. We organize diversified events across formats like workshops, TEDx style talks, panel discussions, and today we are doing an online talk. We'll go to the next one, Greg, please. Yeah, again, we have collaborations across various organizations, including education institutes, recruitment agencies, professionals, and startup sectors. Some of them are very well-known brands in New Zealand, like University of Auckland, University of Otago, AUT, Kiwi, Summer of Tech, you can see, which we are currently working with and collaborating for this particular event, Westpac, and many others. I'll not go to each one. Let's go to the next one, Greg, please. Yes, so it's time to take photo. So we will be using this photo for our social media. So if anyone is not comfortable, please you can switch off your camera. Whoever's camera is on, we'll be capturing a group photo for our social media. So I'll request Greg to help me with capturing everyone's photo.
Yep.
Whenever
We'll
we
just
are ready,
wait.
Greg.
We'll just wait till a few more cameras are on, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll come up with a funny countdown phrase because that's what I do. So, okay. Oh, I might not capture everyone because there's so many people on the call today, but let's try with this one here. Okay. So we need a pose on the count of 3, 2, 1. Summer of Tech. Nice one. Okay.
Hey, thank you, Greg. Let's move ahead. Okay, so you're welcome to join Slido and post any questions you have about anything related to your professional journey or about the New Zealand market, about the challenges you're facing, or any questions regarding landing an internship, first job. What's the theme of today's? Which is the theme of today's discussion? We will take up the questions in the end once Theora and Ting share their journey and share their respective content, and we'll try to answer as many questions as possible. So I'll just pause here for a minute for everyone to scan the code and ask any questions, put down any questions if they have.
And I'll just also say too, we'll be recording this call, so for people who couldn't make it. But I'm just wondering, T, is it best if we do it on our side or your side for the recording?
I think T.
Is T still here?
I am still here, and it
Yeah,
is
yeah.
recording. It is definitely recording, guys. So I'm just
Okay.
making sure I'm letting everyone in the room.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
We're on. We're on.
Thank you.
Go.
Okay, let's go ahead, Greg. Okay, so firstly, I'll introduce Ting. Ting is again an international student who came to New Zealand, finished her studies, did a lot of internships, and finally landed at Spark New Zealand as a data and AI scientist. So I'll hand over to Ting to share her journey, share her content that she wants to share with us today. Over to you, Ting.
Sure. Thank you, Maya. Let me just share my screen. Are you guys able to see my slides?
Yep, yep. Nice
Cool,
to meet you.
perfect. So kia ora, everyone. I'm Ting. I'm currently working as a data and AI scientist at Spark New Zealand. So very honored to be here, share a bit about my journey, and hopefully you can all find a bit useful things out of it. I got into this role through some of tech. So I was starting as a intern and I later on transitioned to a permanent role. And for my journey, I think I wouldn't present it as a straight line because it wasn't one. So it's more like building up brick by brick. Before landing the offer, I think one important thing I did is to build more local experiences because like at first my motivation was very clear. I just wanted to imagine myself working and living here in New Zealand, probably like many of you guys do as well. So that's the motivation that I got. Like whenever I see a chance to connect myself with local people, organization, and also with the local environment, understand the working culture here, I'll just seize it. And that's also the reason that my very first local experience, it actually started even before I landed here. That was like when I studied offshore, I got an email from University of Auckland saying they got a program called micro internship. And through that, we able to get a chance to work with local organizations. And I was just thinking, why not? So I signed up for it and I got a chance to collaborate with the team. We did research about the topic and proposed a solution and also did a presentation to a audience. And more importantly, through that, I got to know people who later on become the mentor and supporter in my career. And that's how I met Greg. So very grateful for that. And later on, after I finally got here, landing here, I started attending more events, either from the Career Development Center at uni or meetups like BA Group and some student clubs like Data Science Club or the Chinese Postgraduate Society. Through all of them, the reason I attended so many events because I think I just got to get more information about what direction I should go if I want to really land a job here. And through that, I got to know an important fact is local experiences matter a lot here. That is definitely not saying international experiences has no value, but it is more saying that the local experiences here actually gives employees evidence to demonstrate you have the skills they are looking for. And the common aspects of the soft skills that matter a lot here, you can characterize them into communication, collaboration, demonstrating your ownership, your ability to deal with ambiguity, and building trust. Um, I think after knowing that, then I started thinking, okay, where I can get the local experiences. That's why I started applying for job very early, I would say. So I started my first application during the first summer break after I landed here. Even though I didn't go through the interview, but I was super happy that I got a chance for the interview because my goal was to understand a bit more about how interview process goes. And I also got a chance to talk to people, connect to the employer as well. So after following the first interview and also um, talking to more people, I got to know another fact is it is actually a common thing for international students to experience a bit volunteering activities before they land a first formal local role. So that's kind of encouraged me started looking for volunteering opportunities. At that some break, I approached a local energy company asking whether they take any volunteering roles. And fortunately, they said yes. So that's how I started my first data science volunteer internship here locally and met great people there as well. And meanwhile, I also signed up for Auckland Uni Global Volunteering Project. Through that, I was working part-time as a developer with a software company. So during the same summer break, I was working on two part-time volunteering internships. And those two experiences actually helped me open the door to my master industry project. Those experiences got me through the interview for a research project that I got a chance to work on a deep learning project about computer vision with the local research center. And I met two great mentors there as well. And that project later on became a publication. So I would say by looking back my journey, it is never one big step, but it's more like every small experience became the evidence for the next opportunity. Um, so I've just shared a bit about the local experiences that I had, but about how I actually get it, I would say one important aspect is about building, learning, and practicing. Because from my perspective, especially for technical job, I think the best way to learn stuff is by building. I still remember at first, in my very first version of my CV, I was putting my internship experience from when I was still in China, and I was putting my uni projects as well. You may feel like that the uni projects may not count as real life work experiences, but I wouldn't say that a project can count if you can explain clearly about what problem you were solving and what role you were playing, the tools you were using, and what you learned from it. Um, Especially for the teamwork at uni, I would say those are all great material for you to demonstrate your soft skills about collaboration and solving conflicts. And meanwhile, building stuff, I also spent my time, did a bit of research about the common behavioral questions that coming up from interviews. So I started to build a bit my own answer bank for behavioral questions. And later on, I actually, through this, I got to know more clearly about my own experience as well. For one experience, I'm able to adapt it to multiple different behavioral questions. And one thing I find quite helpful about practicing is actually self-recording. So some companies, they will ask for one-way interviews. I understand it may feel a little bit strange talking to a screen, but for me, I find it super helpful because you got the chance to test your real-time responses, and also you're able to review it. After the recording finished, you can do your bit, your own reflection on it, and later on can continue your enhancements. And I would say at nowadays, AI can definitely be a helper for the mock interviews. You can try use AI to help you practice all the questions and also giving you feedback. And meanwhile, I would say do not miss out the great chances that sometimes BA group and career development center at uni, they will offer mock interviews as well. So to summarize this part, I would like to share that I feel confidence comes from evidence, and the evidence comes from taking actions. Besides the building, learning, and practicing, I would like to share a bit about my understanding of the communication and cultural adjustments as well. So I remember at first when I communicate at workplace, I sometimes are just translating my thoughts from my mother tongue to English. But later on, after experiencing more and after attending more workshops, meetups, I got to understand that the communication styles that local people tend to use. So a few examples I would like to share is, for example, instead of saying, I don't know, you can try saying, I haven't worked on the exact problem before, but I can investigate and come back with options. And instead of saying, sorry, I'm not sure, you can try saying, my current understanding is, can you please confirm what I'm thinking is in the right direction? And also, instead of waiting to be noticed, try being proactive, update people with my progress is, I will do what next and for which part I may need some input and help. To summarize a bit about the communication style here, I would say confidence is more about being transparent, proactive, and easy to work with, instead of pretending that you tend to know everything. And also, a common topic that comes into people's attention is networking. From my own understanding, I would say networking is building genuine connections. So whenever you approach somebody, actually what you're doing is not just asking for a job or for a referral. What the reason you reach out to people must be you have some curiosity in the other person's journey, in their learning or in the field they're working in. So when I networking with people, I normally will start with some questions to understand um, a bit about the stories behind, like why this person got into where he or she is today. So just ask questions, show genuine curiosity in their journey, in their role, in their industry. And meanwhile, I normally will share a bit about myself as well. So sometimes, as a student, when you share a bit about yourself, your sharing may remind the other person of their own student dates. And that's a very natural way to build a common ground for you to chat a bit more and build genuine connection. And sometimes people may think, how can I find people for me to connect? And the fact is, actually, you may already met a lot of people. Those people can be the employers at Career Expo, can be your alumni, or can be the speakers at all kind of events or your classmates. You already met a lot of people, and the question is just waiting for you to start a conversation with them. So if I want to summarize a bit up about this part, I would say networking, it actually became easier when you stop chasing the outcomes and start enjoying all the conversations. Final part I would like to touch a bit on is the AI topic. I think the question now is no longer to ask whether AI is changing the game, because the answer is definitely yes. But I would say instead of thinking whether AI is replacing the job, more a better way to view it is actually AI is raising the baseline because with AI, many basic operation they become much easier to automate now. So employers they naturally expect more efficiency out of their employees, not just from not just from the new graduates, but actually for everyone, including people who already work in the industry. So what values more now is actually with the help of AI, your soft skills, like how you understand a problem, how you communicate the problem, and collaborate with your teammate, and how you understand the domain knowledge, and also your judgment. Those soft skills actually became the factor that make you differentiate from other people. So I would say in this age, AI making information much more accessible as well, no matter it's about learning a new unfamiliar concept or to build something quickly. So I would say I have a advice for you guys is if you have interest in certain roles, even in certain industry or company, what you can do is you can do a bit research about their job description, see what skills they're asking for, and what real life use cases, problems they're trying to resolve. And out of that, what you can do is you can see which part you have interest in and find a small piece of it that you can try a bit improvement in it. What you can do is it doesn't have to be something anything big, can be something like a small prototype or small automation that anything you got genuine interesting and building something to for the improvement. Because I believe that like when you talk to people about something you're um, building by yourself or you're proud of, you're definitely showing a different energy that people can tell. By sharing this part, I think if I'm gonna use 5 words to summarize a bit about my journey, those 5 words will be motivation, culture, information, action, and people. So motivation got me clear about the reason why I want to build a life here, build my career here, and culture enable me to understand how people work here, communicate here, and build trust here. And information gave me the right directions about what I need to do. And I normally got information by, like we shared before, like by showing your curiosity, asking your questions, and learning about the market. And with information right direction, next, then just taking actions to build stuff, to try activity like volunteering and apply your knowledge to the actual practice, and then to do some following up. And people, I would say people is the part that make all this possible. So your mentors, people around you, they definitely it's like you kind of encouraging each other the mutual way. So I would say a final sharing I would like to close with a sentence is do not wait until you feel you're completely ready. Just start building evidence, talk to people, practice your story, and then take small steps consistently. So your journey may not be like a straight line, but every step, it just shapes the next one. Um, that will be the end of my part. So thank you all for being amazing attending today's session, and hopefully you can find something helpful from my sharing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ting. I think that was very insightful, especially for people coming to New Zealand and trying to navigate the culture, navigate the work, the job market. And definitely, I think there are a few takeaways which I will hold on to from your presentation. And I'm sure everyone will take away one or two things at least from your presentation. Now we will go to our second champion, which is Theora, and we will ask her to share her journey. She's been in New Zealand for quite some time now. She has worked previously in hospitality, and then she navigated her way to being an operations associate in BNZ. So over to you, Theora.
Can you hear me and can you see my screen?
Yes, we can hear you and we can see your screen, Theora. Please go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you. Kia ora, everyone, and thank you so much for your lovely introduction. And I was blown away from your journey, Ting, like your learning, your insights, and it's like resonate to me because none of us get to where we are just by doing one thing, right? It's like always a combination of decision making, taking action, and people who believe in us along the way. And that will bring me to my own story. And before I dive into my journey, and I have a questions to audience in the room today. So, what is one thing you have achieved, no matter how small, that make you proud? That is on the screen here. So feel free to pop in the chat, and I give everyone 5 seconds. Cool. So for me, I would like to share my answer. So the proud moment happened during my master degree graduation last December. And I just want to share some photos here. Ooh. You know, like at the end of the ceremony, I turned back and looked all the way up to the balcony, and there's my mom looking at me. You have my vision there on the top photos. She's like looking at me, smiling, waving her phone with the flashlight on, looks so happy. And you know, as an international student, one of my biggest dreams was to show my family New Zealand. And after 8 years of studying and working hard here, I finally brought my mom over. And I realized at the time that every difficult moment was worth it. And for you, for all of you here, just thinking about what it took for you to get where you are today. And yeah, I just want you to hang tight on that proud moment. And whatever answer you put on here, I haven't had a chance to look at, but we come back to that. And let me share my journey, how it gets started. So I arrived in New Zealand from Vietnam in 2018 as international student, and I majored in hospitality and hotel management. And today I work as operation associate at the Bank of New Zealand. So what happened in between there? I have divided my story into 2 stages. The first 6 years in New Zealand and the turning point in 2024. You know, like each phase have taught me a different lessons in life and shape who I am today. And it is so special for me to rewalk the path with you all this evening. So the first stage, I spent my first 6 years in Aotearoa working as a hospitality and retail worker. And I will never forget those years. You know, every New Year, while everyone was counting down, looking up at the fireworks, holding champagne, say Happy New Year, I was like looking down, sweeping the floor with the broken glasses. So that was my very harsh, for me, like reality. But looking back, that career path has taught me resilience, empathy, problem solving, and stay calm under the pressures. But I also gonna share some of my favorite memories. So look at those photos from the good old days I have there. So I was hospitality student, and this is my first event I organized actually as a masquerade ball for my event management class. And the photos on the corner left, it's like when my first time as a sous chef, and I always like take a photo of my name badge. It's like capture the moment. And you can recognize the uniform there when I worked in McDonald's. in New Plymouth as a study at the time as well. And the one underneath is when I was a duty manager at an Italian restaurant. I have a different hairstyle there. Hope anyone can recognize me. And the photo on the right here is when I host a house party where I clearly prepare way too much cheese and crackers and sweet. Here. So please look closely to this photo. I'm so happy to share with you all my memory. You know, from the outside, I look very busy and happy, right? But inside, now I can confess to you, like, despite all of these activities, I spent almost my entire undergrad hiding inside my comfort zone. And, you know, almost of my friends were Vietnamese because they give me the sense of home when I was experiencing homesick and culture shock away from my family. And I was thinking it's not wrong at all, but until I say no to almost every exchange activity or extra curriculum in university at the time, because I was terrified of making mistakes, or I was scared of speaking broken English and sounding silly in front of native speaker. So when I was accepted into my master at Victoria University in 2014, I saw it is my second chance. I made a promise to myself, round two is going to be completely different because I wanted to grow, wanted to step out my comfort zone and unleash my potential. And it's like I found my calling. I wanted to become someone who could make the world a better place. You know, like when I worked in hospital, I remember I saw my teammates become frustrated by, you know, repetitive or time-consuming process, what we call it like sequence of procedure at the time. So that make their job is like harder and eventually affected the customer experience and the business performance. And I was thinking at the time, this has to be a better way to doing this. And that's exactly why I chose business analysis, because I want to improve the way people work and have a better outcome for both human and, you know, people and business as well. And I know that to make that dream happen, I have a long list to work on, and I need to start with my personal development. So what I have done is I expose myself to every single opportunity I found at the time or the opportunities a university offer. And I signed up to leadership programs. I volunteer at the Red Cross. I joined Toastmaster, and I forced myself to be the very first person in the class to raise a hand, to ask the questions. And, you know, I constantly audited my own progress as well. I did everything I could to build a better versions of myself. And that led me straight to my second family, the BA Career Meetup. And I cannot say thank you enough to Sophie and Greg. I hope both of you here tonight, I see Greg there, but maybe Sophie in the background as well, who are both have created this platform and where people like me feel safe and got given the opportunity to take initiative. And this is where I attended my first networking event, hosted my first event I organized, and delivered my first public talk. And more importantly, I found the people who challenged me to grow. Yeah, you know, like my biggest fear was public speaking, and I still fear making language mistakes. But by pushing through that discomfort with this family, I can turn that fear into energy, excitement, and motivation to land myself a better place in New Zealand market. And then it came to my graduation. So of course, like there's hundreds of rejection I encounter. You know, rejection forms the job application, but the level of resilience that hospitality has prepared me, like the little story at the beginning of my talk, has turned that feeling from rejection into motivation. And of course, with the support of like-minded people and friends and family surrounding me, to keep going, to keep applying, to keep trying and trying differently. And the thing I told myself at the time was like, if I haven't got an interview, that means I haven't tried hard enough. So, and also like many of you on this call, I would say I keep asking myself the same questions. How can I land my first role? And the more I obsessively focus on the role, the more rejections I received and the more depressed I became. And it was exhausting, depressing, and negative loop for me. So I decided to change the questions because what I believe is organization will hire people have the self-management who they can trust. So we can take care of the business, right? It's not the one desperate to get the role. So I stopped asking the previous question. I start asking how can I maintain my well-being while preparing for the right opportunities. Yeah. So I would like all of us hold on that questions because I want to take a step back and share what I haven't told you yet. So while I was studying, volunteering, raising my hand and hunting for jobs, I also had to mix and meet because the cost of living in New Zealand is no joke, and I refuse to give up my lifestyle. So what I do is I utilize my time by using the time box methodologies. Every minute had a purpose for me. So for almost 16 months of the coastland, this was what a typical day looked like for me. So I waking up early to work on a technical skill. I hit the gym at 7 a.m. on the dot to attend my hot yoga session. In the afternoon, I have a class and projects work. In the evening, I either doing volunteering or hosting an event at BA Career Meetup. And every weekend, I still have my jobs to mix and meet. And sometimes I need to work on my assignment during my 30 minutes lunch breaks. It is quite normal for me day to day like that. And of course, the schedule change depend on urgency and the priorities of the task, right? But the principles stay the same by showing up consistently, and those small daily habits started to compound. And the result is I fulfill my academics goals. Oh, is that somebody saying something? Perfect.
No, but I think you're good.
Oh
Please
yeah.
continue.
So I was saying the result from all my discipline is I fulfill my academic goals. I keep up with my fitness. I landed a couple interviews and even saving up money to travel back to Vietnam to see my family. So I'm sharing you with this because I want you to know that I see you. I know exactly how exhausting the international student hustle is. And but you cannot let the hustle break the spirit. Your well-being is the fuel that keep you going. And guess what? Last year in October, while I was back in Vietnam spending time with my parents, the hard work paid off, and I finally got offer from BNZ. And I want to share with you some of the great photos here when I was practicing yoga on Pakapapa Mountain, or when the one here, the second one is when I drove my mom to Queenstown and Glenorchy to see the remarkable mountains. The one in the middle is when I spend time with my families and have a run with my friend in the park run in Taupo, if anyone been there before, and have some team building with some Vietnamese food as well during the weekend. So that all great memories here. And yeah, but the journey is not end there yet. It was just started. So I hope everyone hanging there with me, because anyone curious what happened after I land the role. So I enter a brand new environment as with a completely different industry for me, because I started as hospitality and now I work in a bank industry. So everything's so different. I got culture shock again, like working cultures, communication style, and of course different challenges. So what I do is to adapt, and I decided to use exact same strategies that got me the job. I stepped out my comfort zone straight away. After a month start, I raised my hand and asked my manager like if I could join the work social committee and also host the office Christmas function. Like the entire process of figured out how to make that Christmas morning tea happen forced me to interact to people. And, I really, really, really want to be part of the team and to connect the team together as well. I want to work in a collaborative environment, right? It is, it is very uncomfortable to me at first to, like to just force myself to go say hi to people and make a conversation, but I keep telling myself that it's entirely up to me, sorry, entirely up to us to rise above the difficulty, to raise the hand and to make an impact. And that's that when this photo came out. Look at us, we have a great time. Here. So I want to leave you tonight with 3 actions that I believe it is useful no matter where we are in our own journey. So the first one here is translate your journey. So if you're working in retail or hospitality or any part-time job while studying or looking for the new role like me back then, instead of viewing it as a survival work, let's reframe it as your training ground for stakeholder management. Like very remember when Ting share about her story bank, I have the same as well. And I start and document all the story, how you solve problem, how you serve customer brilliantly, how quick you learn a piece of technologies, and that will be your star story for the interview, like all the behavioral questions. That is evidence and material for it. This will be useful. So the second one here is making one connection every week. So I know it is not easy as it sounds. I get to know that one of the most concern for all of us in the room here is when networking is how to maintain long-term meaningful connection without feeling awkward when reaching out to people, right? So from my experience, I always have a purpose when reaching out to anyone. Of course, we start with a proper introduction, invite them into your story and learn about their story over a coffee chat, for example, and also look for a way to carry on your conversation, maybe collaborate on a project, volunteer together, attend another event, or simply check in after a few months for catching up with them. But I always be mindful of people time and your own capacity and boundary for yourself as well. And also some people get drained after social event and wonder how to retain social battery. And that's will link to my third point, schedule your rest. So I always remind myself and people surround me to maintain work-life balance. Go for a walk in the nature without the screens, and reconnect to your loved one to share your recent achievements, your struggles, or your stories. Ultimately make the time that allow us to empty our cups. So every morning we wake up refreshed and to be present and to keep going. And the last thing I would say is New Zealand market is tough right now, and so are you. So I encourage you to discover your boundary and step into the discomfort and go build your path. And thank you so much for listening. And here's my LinkedIn, and I'm looking forward to the Q&A. And back to you, host, Maya.
Thank you so much, Theora. That was really insightful and I would say a lot of learnings for us, right? And what stuck with me is how you navigated your journey from hospitality to BA, right? So that's really remarkable, and I'm sure a lot of people on this call are transitioning from one career to another or trying to crack into a BA career. So that's really, really helpful. Okay, let's go to Q&A now. So I will ask Greg to help me in terms of the Q&As that we have in Slido.
Yep. So I've put the first question up
Okay.
here. There we are. Yeah. So it's the one in
Yeah.
green.
Thank you. Thank you, Ting. What employment platforms do you recommend, and how can I find a volunteering job as a student? So over to you, Ting.
Yeah, sure. I think employment platform is for jobs. The common ones are LinkedIn, Seek, and Indeed, I would say. And for volunteering, I think, sorry, like for students, there's a platform actually called Student Jobs Search. I
Mhm.
think they got something more like casual or part-time jobs. And if it's for volunteering, I believe like uni, they sometimes have volunteering activities as well. And outside uni, there's quite a few official websites about volunteering opportunities. Even I remember Seek, they are taking volunteering as well. And also Trade Me, they also got a Trade Me job section. So quite a lot platform. Just feel free to search it and even reach out to people. For example, like if you're interested to become a volunteer at BA group, I think you can like feel very welcome to reach out to them as well for the meetup.
Yeah, yeah, that's helpful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ting. We will go to our next question. What are the biggest mistakes international students make on their CV? So, Theora, would you like to pick this up?
Um, One of the biggest mistake, I think the one thing I can think of is you copy paste from ChatGPT to your CV, because I say the employer will pick it up straight away, and it's you're already out of the game.
Mm,
No matter like how many story you prepare for your interview, but if you can't put it down in the CV in your own way, yeah, you're out of the door in the first day.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a common concern we are hearing across. Yeah, a very good one, Theora. Thank you. Let's go to the next one. What can I do to improve my chances of receiving more interview calls? Um, who would like to take this? Think, would you like to go with this?
Uh, I would say interview calls. If you're saying that, like, get more interview calls, then before that, I guess that's working on the CV, right?
Mm,
So, about CV, I think BA Group, they sometimes offer the CV check help as well. And like I mentioned, like Auckland Uni Career Development Center, they have the session as well. So if you want to reach out to people, you can have them check your CV. And other than that, if you're from Auckland Uni, I remember they have a online service, CDS
yeah,
Plus. They have a automatic CV check for you. And other than that, you can use like AI to help check the CV as well. And if you're talking about uh, get successful in court interview, then that's probably something you can practice with the mock interviews. Hope that's helpful.
yeah, makes sense. Thank you so much, Ting. Um, the next question is any tips about video interviews? I feel very nervous and is not able to speak very fluently and well. So, Theora, over to you.
I feel nervous too, to be honest. And and the first time, yes, of course, speak not very like fluently. See how am I nervous? That's okay. You just need to practice a bit more, and like one of the thing I when I practice in front of the screen, I always put a smiley face next to the camera, so like I talking to somebody in a positive way, so make me calm down myself. That's the first step. But the second one is after you recording yourself during practice, feel like there to send it to your friends or your mentors or your family who give you some commands and feedback, and then start working from those feedback and you will surprise yourself.
Yeah, that's very interesting, Theora. Putting a smiley. I never thought about that. I will try it
I
next time.
mean, I do everything I can to make me happy during the practicing and during the interview video as well. So
Oh,
yeah.
that's amazing. Thank you so much for that, Theora. So the next question is for Ting. I have a question for Ting. How do you explain tech concepts to non-tech staff to help them understand your work?
I would say sometimes you can use analogy, but most of the time just try to focus on translating the business value because I imagine the scenario is normally you're talking to your business stakeholder.
Mm,
So try to utilize something like they can understand in daily life, but explain a similar logic behind.
yeah, makes sense. Basically, to give an analogy of the field they are working in, right? Yeah, got it. Okay, thank you for that thing. About the culture, which means dealing with ambiguity in a practical manner. Okay. Um, Honestly, I am not clear about the question. Theora, do you understand this, or do you want to pick this up?
So if I understand it's right, I just rephrase the questions a bit. How can I dealing with ambiguity in a
Mm,
practical manners? But I'm not sure how the cultures expect they're doing the part. But for me, if I have to answer how can I deal with ambiguity, I mean like as a BA to be, you always have to dealing with ambiguity, right? Like uncertainty, you don't know what you get yourself into, those sort of things. But it is my job to look at the problem in front of you and break it down into small stages, small problem, and solve it step by step. Is that
I can
fair?
Yeah, sorry, I can add a bit to that as well. So that's kind of like one of my slides. So I when I mentioned dealing with ambiguity, um that's two things. One is problem solving, the other is communication. So um, ambiguity is very common at workplace, especially when you're handling real life problem. There's always ambiguity. So that's actually the best opportunity to demonstrate your um, understanding of the problem. And I think the key point is keep keep being transparent. Like when you are not sure about certain parts, just make sure you raise that as early as needed so that like your teammates can have just keep on the same page as you and so that you can just collaborate on that.
Makes sense. Thank you, Ting and Theora. So we have one last question. We have time just for one last question. We have 2 minutes, so I'll just pick up the one on top, which says, with AI tools changing fast, what BA or analytics skills do you think are becoming must-haves or versus nice-to-haves for someone graduating in 2027? Okay,
I can start with this.
sure, Theora, please go ahead.
So one of the BA skills do you think you must have, I would say communication, how you interact with people, how you asking questions, how you process the information they give to you and respond to it like appropriately. And nice to have for somebody graduate, I would say one of my challenge at the moment as well is technical skills. I'm not coming from a technical background, but so that means I need to try extra hard to work on my technical skill. And it's nice to have after school when you can be able to like map our process in a technical tool, and that will impress your employer. Yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah, okay, makes sense. Thank you, Theora, for that. Okay, with this, I think we are at the end of our session. We are at the bottom of the hour. So I will conclude by saying thank you to everyone, especially Theora, Ting for their time today, Greg for helping out with all the slides and helping us with the questions. and all the participants for taking out time on a Tuesday evening and joining us today. I hope you are able to take up one or two good insights from each of their presentation and sharing. And these are our links to our Meetup group, YouTube channel, and LinkedIn page. If you would like to follow us, join us, please go ahead and scan these codes. And I think we are at the bottom of the hour now. So thank you, everyone. We'll close the call. Have a good evening.